Thanks for joining us for this Zero Waste video series segment. The Zero Waste video series is organized by Waste Free Advocates, formerly Recycling Advocates, an Oregon-based nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering and connecting Oregon communities to minimize overconsumption and waste. With this video series, we are seeking to not only inform folks who are interested in learning about zero waste efforts within our region, but also to connect to entrepreneurial, government, and community advocates to help strengthen our growing network so that we can help each other in growing these positive and impactful practices and infrastructure. Please write in your questions and suggestions in the comments where we're going to be continuing the conversation. I'm very excited today to be speaking with Ross Ching, co-founder of the new refill shop, Mama and Hapas. Good morning, Ross.
Hi, how's it going? Good morning.
It's going great, thanks. I'm very excited. It looks like you're in your shop today for our conversation.
Yeah, we're gonna open in maybe about 30 minutes. So I figured what better place to do an interview about our store than in our store. This is our logo right here, and then this is our wall of dispensers right here. So yeah, it's a nice location.
The dispensers look very brand new as far as dispensing zero waste products. Will you tell me what makes that different than what we normally use when we're doing our refill shopping?
So normally what you have to do is come in with a container and weigh your empty container and then weigh your full container after you've filled it. And so if you buy 5 things, that's 10 times you need to weigh something. And then you have to subtract that 5 times for all of your items. And so I think that was a big barrier to entry for a lot of people who, just wanted to go to the store and get something. And so we thought of a plan that we could, maybe incorporate this RFID system. And so at some places across the country, they have breweries that do like an RFID card that you scan and then you pour your own beer. And so that was kind of the initial inspiration, was a system like that. But with soaps, there's like different viscosities that you have to deal with. So it was a bit more involved in terms of what we had to do to make it actually dispense. But yeah, so it's as simple as coming in, grabbing a card at our store, and then you just wave the card in front of the dispenser, and then it starts dispensing, kind of like a soda fountain or a Slurpee machine. And so you don't have to measure anything or weigh anything. We just keep track of what's on this card, and then we just scan the card at the end.
Wow. I've been in and tried it once, and I was amazed. Like this, like change in this process is pretty mind-blowing, and a pretty huge leap forward for just refill in general. Being so new to it makes me wonder, and like with the collaboration, like the idea of collaboration and everything, like what does it take to do this everywhere? Like, is this something that you've worked on it, you've figured out this viscosity? Have you started any kind of consulting work, like where other people who want to do this same process can learn all about it from you?
Yeah, well, we were thinking about licensing the technology out to people. One thing that we've been only open 4 months. So in those 4 months, we've been kind of progressively getting more and more refined in all of our processes. One of the things that we just did actually yesterday is that we redesigned the spouts on this wall of dispensers. And then in a couple of weeks, we're gonna redesign our table, which is this. And so this is gonna get redesigned a little bit too. And so that's to say that we're refining our objects or our dispensers to be a little bit more user friendly and a little bit more owner friendly, in the eventual goal to be able to license it to other people in other places across the country. Because I think that will be a bigger impact than just us at one location in Portland. Granted, eventually we want to grow into more locations, but to get us to scale this thing much faster, we can license, a tech out to like Ohio or something, and get a broader reach out of it. So it's definitely something that we're focused on, is licensing the tech out. And so we're talking to a couple people about possibly doing some sort of pilot program to see how well it works and what kind of bugs that we can eliminate. But that's where we're at right now.
Wow. It's still very early in the process. Like it's interesting to know, like, doing so much work and so many steps just to get a bricks and mortar shop opened. Like it's crazy to think that that's only just the beginning of the process.
Yeah. The actual brick and mortar shop actually took a long time because of just permits and construction and finishing all the things that need to be done with opening a normal store. The other thing about opening a zero waste shop is that it's really easy to be labeled as hypocritical. And so we wanted to avoid that label as much as possible with the zero waste shop, right? So for one thing, we decided that we'd build as much of the items in the store as possible. So this sign up here, I made myself in our basement. All these dispensers we made in my garage and basement.
Wow.
These cabinets and stuff down below, those were all made in my garage. And even our checkout system right here, this table we got that off of Craigslist. And then this shelf right here actually used to be a door.
Wow.
And I just cut the door in half and then we turned it into a shelf. Even this A board, we didn't buy this A board. I actually I think that A board used to be a shelf at our old house, and then I glued it together and then made a board out of it. So
wow,
we tried to be as reuse friendly as possible for the shop, because if you walk into a store that's a little too nice that says that they're environmentally friendly, then people will start asking questions like, okay, well, where did all the stuff come to make your stuff? And if you say I had to have it shipped halfway across the country to make it look nice, then it's not really zero waste, right?
Yeah, no, those are excellent business practices, no matter what the business is, whether it's a zero waste business or not. Like, it's just, we all need to be finding ways to reuse stuff, make use of things that already exist, because that's the other thing with zero waste, is the thing that's most zero waste is the thing you already own. We see that see that shared a lot. So that's such an excellent philosophy. And I try to not do too much cutting down of anyone who's working to accomplish anything to help us out in combating climate change or anything. Like, it's when we're idealists, we can try so hard to be just right or get it right or be just perfect or whatever. Like, everything has, and you can hurt each other more than help each other when it's like chasing that thing. So I try to not nail down anyone for being hypocritical or anything, but no one's going to be able to nail you guys down for anything. You're doing so good. And you're even washing containers on site with dishwasher for reusable containers. That's a really neat part of what you're working to reuse as well.
Yeah. So right here, we have jars that either people bring in or that we acquire somehow. And we have a dishwasher in the back, and the dishwasher rinses out the containers, and then we put them out here for free for other people to use. Part of the thinking is that it takes a lot of energy to recycle glass. Like glass, everybody knows like you can recycle it infinitely and it doesn't degrade or whatever. But the one caveat is that you have to raise the temperature to like 2000 degrees to melt it down and reform it into something else. And that's very energy intensive. So the easiest thing is just to rinse the jars out and reuse them instead of throw them in the recycle bin.
Yeah. Yeah. Reuse and refill trump recycle every time as far as energy input and energy output. So a little bit back, you did mention that you have your sights set on expanding a little bit. What's your vision for what, like, currently you're at shop number 1. You've got one shop right now. What do you have any specific hopes for expansion?
Well, right now we are talking about doing shop number 2, and we're thinking around North Portland area. But what we realized with our first shop is that 80%, 70 or 80% of our customers live within 2 miles of our shop. And so what we realized is that if the customer has to spend half a gallon of gas to come to our shop and then go back home, then like, what's the point of saving half a gallon or a bottle of, soap or shampoo or something? So what we want to do is eventually the end goal would be to be like a neighborhood type store where we're within 2 miles of almost every Portlander or everyone in the Portland metro area. The goal is that we want to be like a 7-Eleven or a Target or something. Maybe we wouldn't offer as many products as those kinds of stores, but would offer the convenience as those stores.
And another perspective from my perspective as a grocery store shopper is picturing there being a mama and Hapas inside of a different grocery store, like the way you go into a grocery store and there's a certain coffee shop right in the front and it's in all of that thing. Like that sort of a thing for me as the shopper would be super convenient. And I have no idea what's the business like partnership between those businesses, but I picture that as well and wonder if you have thought about that type of partnership.
It would definitely be a little bit trickier simply because of the fact that if you install these wall dispensers, you need something on the back side of the wall to draw from. Or if you install a table like this, the problem with this is that it takes up a lot of floor space in that grocery store for, I think there's 18 products on this table right now. So 18 products, it's I think it's 10 feet long and like 2 or 3 feet wide. So 18 products for that much square footage is going to be tough.
So it wouldn't fit in an existing grocery store, but maybe the ones where there's like the store and like a bunch of other stores on the same strip or whatever, like that type of.
Yeah, exactly. So the good thing is that for a shop like ours, we're only 800 square feet in this shop. And so we don't need very much square footage to sell a zero waste store. But at the same time, inside of a grocery store or something like that, we would probably need more square footage than would make them money. Having said that, if zero waste really catches on in the Portland area and we're able to help that, maybe there would be more people spending money on refill that would make it worth the square footage investment for a grocery store. So, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And when I think about like that growth trajectory, like from my own perspective as a consumer, like it is worth it to me, like if to make a longer car trip to support your shop, like to invest in that that kind of data collecting of like these shops are in demand. And sure. that helps out with the growth of it all around. So one question I've enjoyed asking the zero waste shops I've talked to and businesses is, what help do you need from enthusiastic zero waste advocates?
I mean, everyone always says this, but voting with your money is like the best thing you can do. So instead of going to CVS and buying your shampoo bottle, going here and buying your shampoo is much more beneficial, because not only will it support us, but it helps support us expand, and it helps support us lower our prices, because the more we expand, the more we can lower our prices and get, I think we're similar in price point, a lot of our objects, to like a CVS or something. I think I want to get our price points more along the lines of like a Target or something. I think that's my eventual goal, where I want to get with the prices, just because we think zero waste should be accessible to as many people as possible. And so that's one of our big goals that we have for this shop.
Okay. That's a great goal. And I very much admire everything that you guys are doing. I don't want to take up any more of your time as you guys are getting ready to open for the day.
Yeah.
But I want to thank you very much for talking with me this morning and telling us a little bit about the new business. I'm excited to see where it goes, and keep us posted.
Thanks for having me. We're very excited to be here in Portland, and we hope that there'll be much more of us in the future.
Please join the conversation, which will continue in the comments section. So please don't be shy, whether you have one question or 10, whether you represent a business or government or community, we all have ideas and connections to offer. This low waste and low consumption lifestyle is for everybody. Working together and doing our part will have lasting positive impacts on our planet and livability. You can help waste-free advocates in whatever way you like, from financial support to joining our board of volunteers. Visit wastefreeadvocates.org for links, and please follow, like, share, and subscribe to Waste Free Advocates to receive notifications of our events and future episodes of the Zero Waste video series that you won't want to miss. We hope to inspire you to inspire others through your positive influence, and remember that when you share what you know and who you know, you multiply the good that you do.
So thank you for tuning in, and keep being an advocate for change in your local community.